Hello to all you listeners, and welcome to today's adventure. Today's adventure is The Wizard's Choice, Book 1. It is a choose-your-own-adventure style of book, which your decisions throughout the book decide whether you live or which path you will take throughout this adventure. I'm not too sure what happens further on into this, so I can't wait. I hope that you can't wait neither. But it's called The Wizard's Choice 1 by Sand Lamstrom. Summary: you play the part of a wizard in a medieval fantasy world. This is the first part of an epic series. Content warning: violence and dark themes. So if you guys are not interested, feel free to click off. But if you are interested and to see what happens, what path we will take upon, and what lies upon our future, let's dive into this, shall we? Let's, in other words, begin. I reckon that is us, and looks like we're traveling through a dark forest. It is nighttime. You are a young wizard seeking treasure and glory. You are walking along the path of the forest one day's journey from Ring City, your beloved home. Night has just fallen, and you're thinking about how it might be a good idea to find a campsite. After all, you're in Goblin territory, and it's dangerous to travel in the dark. Suddenly, you smell something awful. "Reginald, are you responsible for that outrageous smell?" you ask the warrior striding ahead of you. "Pray no. I am always downwind of my companions when I squeeze the gallows," Reginald answers. You never realize that you have never encountered this stench before, and it is close, and perhaps it's your imagination. But is that muffled breathing you just heard? What do you do? Should you shout a warning to Reginald? Dive flat on your face like an idiot? Hide like a puss? Or stop and listen? Let's stop and listen, see what's going on. Okay, so we got mana decreases by 2, morale increases by 1. Okay. No need to panic yet, you think. You grab Reginald by the shoulder and gesture for him to be quiet. The two of you stand motionless for a few long seconds before you hear a low, wheezing sort of breathing. Reginald must have heard it too, because he raises his sword defensively. A series of snorts is followed by several goblins with green-tinted skin charging out of hiding towards you. With an arcane word and a flourish of one hand, you send a bolt of fire into the leader of the charge, who drops to the ground, thrashing in flames. Reginald hacks down another with his sword. The remaining 3 run away, whooping and yipping. Soon their cries are joined by others from the dark forest all around you. Many calls from far too many goblins to fight toe-to-toe. "It's a hunting party, tracking wild game, I wager. Human is a delicacy, much better than mutant," Reginald says. You regard the 2 dead goblins on the ground. Dead goblins are worth 10 gold pieces per head in the city. Luckily, you don't need to carry their heads around. The city authorities will accept their left ears. What do you do? Well, that's a lot of them, and I don't want it for 20 gold pieces. I don't want to lose my life. So for right now, we'll have another chance. Let's just run. The forest is crawling with goblins. "It is time to flee," you shout, and the 2 of you run into the forest in a direction from which you do not yet hear their cries. "What now?" Reginald asks, panting after you have run for a stretch. "Certainly there are excellent places to hide in the forest, if we can just survive until morning." "Exactly. The goblins may have hunting dogs or even wolves, and their own sense of smell is keen, you say." "We might climb a tree then." "That would at least be defensible," Reginald suggests. "You wish to be treated like a fox with goblins barking underneath? If you wish a position in both defensible and allows some freedom of movement, we should hasten to the castle Everness. It is near And we could fortify ourselves behind those walls, Regional says. You frown. It is a fortress, yes, but inhabited by what? God knows what manner of creature may have taken up residence in that ruin over the years. Let's head to the ruins. Hide in the forest? Nah, I don't really think. Climb a large tree? That's retarded. And garrison in the ruins. Let's go to the ruins. Castle Inverness is near. Let us take refuge behind those stone walls, you say. Goblin hunting calls echo from all around in the forest as the two of you dash up the path hundreds of meters or so, where you find a fork in the road. The path to the right appears to be seldom used since it is nearly overgrown. The path to the left is clear, and you think you see firelight down the way. Could this fire belong to the goblins? Or if you're lucky, it's the campfire of another friendly adventuring party. What do you do? Castle, never question a wizard. Investigate the fire. No. Never question a wizard. Never. Morale 1. Enough foolishness. To Castle Inverness and her blessed walls, you proclaim. Regional raised his fist. Yes, may their puny bodies break against our stone defenses. Continue. After a minute of stumbling down what is best described as a game trail, you see the shadowy husk of the ruin in the moonlight ahead. Unfortunately, the battle cries of your pursuers are closer than ever, and when you look back over your shoulder, you see glowing eyes, lidless, green, and bulging out like small onions. The two of you turn on a boost of speed, and soon the outer walls of the castle looms before you. It is about 10 feet high and crumbling. You realize with horror that there are no holes on this side that are large enough to fit through. Meanwhile, Regional, a faster runner than yourself, has disappeared around the corner of the wall. An arrow whisks past your head. You look back and see at least 4 pairs of glowing eyes. What do you do? Follow Regional? I think that they'll catch up to me before I follow Regional. Jump the wall using 1 mana? Hey, we are a wizard, okay? We are a wizard. Do not forget that we can use our powers, but I don't want to use too much because in case something big comes along. And we only have 12. Let's jump the wall with 1. And hopefully we meet Regional on the other side. Hopefully he finds another way in. I don't want to just turn and blast him and waste 4 mana and then there's be something bigger that we have to take care of. Alright. Mana decreases by 1. You stay your course towards the wall, and with an arcane word you leap into the air. Up you go, like a giant grasshopper, over the top. You've made it, but now you're falling down into the castle courtyard. You hit the ground hard, but you roll with it. Fortunately, the neglected courtyard grass is nearly as tall as you are and acts as a cushion. There's a ladder nearby that you climb to get up to the battlements. There are 4 goblins at the base of the wall, chattering angrily. One of them begins climbing up the rotten rock. You decide this is a good place to take a stand. There is a lot of loose rock at the top of the wall. You're not particularly strong thanks to your inactive life as a wizard. However, you expect you could push a few rocks down upon the climber. On the other hand, they're all out in the open, and your spells would certainly be effective now. What do you do? Let's just take care of the... I don't want to fry them all, man. See, look, they're trying to get me to use up all my magic, and I don't want to use up all my magic because there's going to be more to this story, and we got to be able to survive. I don't know if you... I'm sure you can get more mana and everything, but you got to learn how to fight with both. We just used our powers to get over the wall. Let's push a rock down on the climber. Absolutely. Why waste your magical energy, mana, when instead you could use the time-honored trick of hurling rocks down upon your enemy? Very medieval of you. Sure enough, there are some large loose stones nearby which you push down upon the climbing attacker. The first one misses, but he looks up just in time to get a melon-sized rock right in the face, making a watery, crunching sound. He falls back down onto the earth, where he lies motionless. The other three look up, scream in rage, and back off. Suddenly you feel the battlement boards below you shake to the unmistakable rhythm of footfalls. Gods, they gotta be behind me, you think. Charging along the runway is a shadow of a tall and lanky man carrying something. A bow. Regional! You sigh in relief. He must have found another way in. Yes! Good. I need to back up. Regional leans over the wall and, seemingly without even aiming, lets loose an arrow. One of the little devils below falls to the ground, squirming with an arrow in its chest. The others scatter back to the forest. With their eyes turned away, they make difficult targets in the scant moonlight. Nevertheless, your friend takes one more down before the rest make to the safety of the woods. We have struck terror into that advance party, but they will call for reinforcements. We have the wall. Can we hold it? Regional asks. We could go in. You point to the castle keep beyond the courtyard. The castle is 3 stories tall, or at least it had been before the top layer partially collapsed. The second story is barely any better. The fortress is as lifeless and still as a painting. Still, you wonder if anyone is looking back at you from the dark windows and arrow slit of the ruin. What do you suggest? Prepare the wall for defense. Let's enter the castle. Let's freaking enter the castle. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. 2 are not enough to defend all 4 walls. Away to the keep, you shout. You run across the courtyard and open the large wooden double doors, which shriek on rusty hinges. Unlocked? This may be a trap, my friend. We best be on our guard, Regional says. Once inside, Regional slams and bars the doors. The entrance chamber is large with a high-vaulted ceiling. The stone walls are cracked and flaking. The ground is strewn with loose rubble. The air is stale. Aside from the double doors behind you, there are closed wooden doors on the northeast and west walls. It is not long before the front doors begin to rattle violently. Through the nearby arrow slit, you can see green, glowing eyes and the glint of axes chopping away at the door. You're not sure how long the barred portal will hold them. Regional wants to hide deeper in the castle. On the other hand, this place smells of death. It might be prudent to take a few seconds to investigate the room and doors. What do you do now? They're coming through the freaking door, but I don't want to just jump into... Okay, now it's starting to get... There's death. We smell death, so there's something might be living down here eating things. Okay? Or whatever. I have no idea. Let's search the room and the doors. Even though... Okay, we didn't lose anything. Good. You motion to Regional to check the east door. You inspect the ground and see that there has been traffic through here. Some of the tracks on the dusty floor appear to be from human-sized shoes or boots, while others appear to be from bare feet, far too large to be from men. None of the tracks appear to belong to goblins. Listen, you can't hear anything over the goblins thumping and screaming outside. You direct the light of your lantern at the northern door and are about to turn towards the eastern door when something catches your attention. Was that an eye, you wonder? You think you caught a glimpse of a glistening eyeball through the rotting hole in the northern door. Casually, as you though just taking another look around, you sweep your lantern light over the door again, pausing for just an instant at that spot. Yes, it was an eye. You're being watched, and although your glimpse of it was fleeting, you could tell the eye did not belong to a human. The white of the orb is pink with blood, while the retina is pitch black and large. Would you like to get a better look at the creature? There is a minor spell normally used to magically open doors from a distance. You find it tedious opening doors yourself. As long as the door is unlocked, you could use the lazy wizard spell to open the eye door without being too close. On the other hand, that may frighten or anger whomever that eye belongs to. Perhaps you should just talk to it. Maybe you can join forces against the goblins. Alternately, you might be able to hurl a bolt of fire through the eye hole. Not an easy shot, but you have the element of surprise. Finally, there's a running option. A choice that has been keeping wizards alive for thousands of years. What do you do? Oh, shoot. I don't want to just shoot at the eye. That's a dick move. Open the door. 1 mana. Shoot the eye hole. 2. Talk to the creature. I don't really think I want to talk. I don't want to run from everything. Okay. Let's talk to the creature. I know that sounds weird. No. I'm gonna open the door. I'm gonna open the door. Let's open the door. Okay, mana decreases by 1. With a wave of your hand, you open the door. The light of your lantern streams into the doorway to reveal a huge pale monster stooping over. It is naked and hairless, with an exception of the pubic area, and you cannot readily see the gender of the creature. But that's the least of your concern. The giant spiked club it grasps tightly in one hand, and the melon-sized rock it holds in the other are at the top of your mind. Shit. Neville's tongue! It's an ogre! Regional curses. How he knows this, you do not know, but you are willing to take his word for it. The creature appears to be surprised at suddenly being exposed. Then you see a nasty look starting to spread over his face. You need to act fast. Let's use a charm spell. Ooh, hey, achievement unlocked. A clever move. You're a tricky one. Okay, hey, check it out. All right. So we're smart, we're tricky. Okay. Okay, so mana decreases by 3, morale increases by 3. Life's still at 12, mana's at 7, gold's at 0, morale's at 5. Alright. So we're growing in morale, but we're losing in mana. Hopefully we can get some more back. You read somewhere that ogres, although mighty in strength and stench, are weak-minded fools. Quickly, you cast your charm spell and point at the ogre before he has the chance to attack. His eyes, slit of rage only a moment before now, widen, and he gives you what you suppose is an ogre smile. Your trans-species courtship is interrupted as the front door of the castle bursts open. Like a tidal wave crashing on the beach, a heap of goblins fall into the room. Creatures one on top of the other. A chorus of glee erupts from their fangs' mouths. The ogre roars in rage, throwing his rock at the first goblin, striking it in the chest with such a nasty crunching sound that you are certain that the goblin will never get up. You decide it's time to leave this party. You and Regional nearly collide in your haste through the eastern portal. Once through, you slam the door closed. From the entrance chamber you just left, you hear goblins' yips of triumph turn into screams of terror that are immediately drowned out by an earth-shaking snarl. Next you hear the sharp slapping of flesh against flesh and the wet sound of bodies ripping apart. You run from one room to the next. The particular charm spell you used on the ogre only lasts a few minutes, and so you want to get away from the monster before then. The ogre is not much of a housekeeper. The castle is full of giant cobwebs and broken furniture. Finally, you entered a large room, a dining room, as evidenced by a long wooden table and 2 fireplaces. You motioned Reginald to stop, and you both listened. Faintly, you can hear the far-off sounds of battle from behind you. Can't leave that way, you think. Of course, do you really want to leave anyway? There may be treasure about. Your steps slow to a crawl as you try to make up your mind what to do. Just then, you hear something else. Labored breathing. And is that crying? What to do? Let's investigate the sound if it's crying. For glory and the loot, you think to yourself as you take the lead. Alright. You quickly realize that the sound seems to be coming from this very room. You creep over to the other end of the dining hall and see a young woman sitting on the ground, chained to the fireplace, rocking back and forth, sobbing. Reginald was right. Holy crap. What's up, chick? Ooh, you spooky as beep. Her cries break off and she looks up at you with an expression of fear that quickly turns to surprise. Who are you? She asks. You tell her your names and that you are here to smite evil while making your fortunes. This brings a smile to her face, a pretty smile, you suspect, although it's hard to tell under all the dirt smudged on her face. She gives her name as Kiba and says there is a key to her chains on the table. Sure enough, besides cracked and dusty china, a small brass key. As you set about to unlocking her, she tells you that she is a merchant's daughter who was traveling with her father's trade caravan when it was attacked by a mighty ogre with a small band of priests of an evil god, wearing dark cloaks. Those of her party not killed in the initial attack were taken prisoner and chained up in this room. One by one, they were taken away by the priest, never to return. They took my father, Kiba sniffs. No doubt he is slain, but I must try to find him. Will you help me? You ask her if she has any idea where her father or the others might be, but she knows little of the rest of the castle. Reginald takes you to a side and says, ought we to take her to safety and then look for her father on her own? She will be in danger traveling with us. You agree that having some half-starved, unarmed merchant's daughter tripping along behind you would only get her killed. But where is safety? Last time you checked, the courtyard was full of crawling with goblins, and according to her, the castle residents are not very good hosts. What do you do? Do we escort her out? Hide her and move on? Send her on her way? Chain her back up for now? I don't want to chain her back up for now. That's a dick move. Yeah, okay. Hey, we'll be right back. You know what I'm saying? We'll be right back. Don't worry about it. We'll be right back. But yeah. Shoot. Send her. No. Hide her and move on. Send her on her way. No, she'll just get caught or killed or escort her out. Let's hide her. Let's hide her and move on. That's what we'll do. We'll hide her and move on. No, because we can't take her with us. Escort her out. No. Hide her and move on. Send her on her way. She'll get killed. Chain her back up for now. Let's escort her out. Let's escort her out. Manner matters. Your mother taught you well. Points. Oh, yeah, I got a point. Yay, morale increases. Siba seems like a nice enough young woman, but as a merchant's daughter, she is not a very good addition to the adventuring party, and so you are eager to escort her out of the castle as quickly as possible. Between Regional's clinking chainmail armor and Seba's innocent sniffing and muttering about her father, the three of you are not the stealthy part you wish to be. After some searching, you find a hole in the wall of the castle large enough for a human to fit through. Regional gives you a boost up to the hole and you look out. Neville's tongue! You curse in your head. Green, glowing eyes dot the courtyard. Outside, you get down and tell the others the bad news. Life decreases by 3. Shit. As you're describing what you saw, there's a sudden jolt of numbing cold in your back. You cry out in pain and turn to see a cloaked man barely visible in the light, the shuttered lantern in his hand. He is pointing at you with his other hand. Perhaps this is one of the evil priests Seba spoke of. As you slump back against the wall, Seba cowers in the corner. Regional unsheaths his sword and charges. The cloaked man runs. By the time you recover from the pain and stand up, Regional is walking briskly back into the chamber. That sneaky devil eluded me, he says, and then curses. I will bet my last copper he is off gathering allies to come back for us. We must move on, you say. As you hasten away from the wing of the ruin, the three of you agree Seba should hide for now. There are tons of hiding places in this ruin. You find a nice pile of rubble for her to hide behind several rooms away. Stay still and quiet here. We will return. Well, if we don't return by morning, escape as best as you can, you instruct her. Clever, Regional says as you leave her. If her abductors find her missing, they will not expect her to remain in the castle. With luck, they will leave the castle altogether to search. And we can explore underneath, you say with a smile. The castle is quiet and dark. You walk into a wide hallway that branches in the 2 directions. One direction is covered in a thick layer of dust while the other is covered in footprints. You decide that it would be wise to get a lay of the land before looking around for any trouble. Despite the faint smell of rotting flesh from the dusty hall, you decide that it would be wise to go this way first. Less monsters, more treasure, or at least you hope. You've kept your lantern hooded, only allowing slivers of light out. After all, you want to remain stealthy. The way is dim, however, and you find yourself tripping over rubbles of the old piece of furniture. There might be something far worse ahead for you to run into. Too bad you can't see it in the dark like a goblin. Do you keep the lantern hooded or unhood the lantern?
Well, there's already a dude that just stabbed me in the back, so I don't want to go showing my light where everything is. But the dude already found us. Already stabbed me. Let's keep the lantern hooded. What? My life decreased by 2? Because I didn't light? You take it slow in the dark. Still you stumble a few times, but at least you're not shining like a lighthouse to all your enemies. Soon the cobwebs thicken and thicken, and what's this? You find yourself stuck to one particular thick strand of web. As you take the hood off your lantern to better appraise the situation, something heavy lands on your shoulder. Spider! Regional yelps. His sword is out and he swings it down hard on top of you. Presently your back is covered with greenish oozing spider blood. The monstrous large spider is black with long matted fur. It now lies motionless on the floor. Regional unhoods his lantern and plays the light on the ceiling above. There are no more spiders, just thick webs dotted with small silky cocoons that you suspect might encase rats or other small prey. Now that the immediate crisis is over, you notice you're in pain. Regional, who has never been a lover of spiders, cut your shoulder in the zeal to kill the thing. You don't hold it against him. He meant well, and it is far better to get a gouge from a sword than an injection of venom from something like that. Regional does his best to bandage you up, and then you proceed down the hall. Your lanterns are no longer hooded, however, you want to get a better look around, and you pay particular attention to the ceiling. Eventually, the two of you make your way to a spiral staircase going up. The upper regions of foul places like this are safer than the lower levels, says Regional. Why in devil's tongue would that be? You say. Regional shrugs. Do not ask me what is in the mind of fiends and evil-hearted beasts. Perhaps they prefer to darkness and stagnant air below ground. You look up the stairway and sigh. Well, perhaps we can get a view of the courtyard from up there. I would like to know just how far the goblins lurk out there. Regional leads the way up the stairs, which lead into a small tower. Moonlight filters in through the cracks between and around the two shuttered windows. This room is finely furnished and otherwise much more nicely kept than the rest of the castle you've visited so far. There is a small bed, still made, on one end, an ornate table, and a bookshelf. On the table is an open fairy tale book and a gold embossed hand mirror. Seeing loot, you forget about the window and the potential to view the courtyard. You pick up the mirror to inspect it. Gazing at your reflection, you decide you look pretty good, all things considered. You brush cobwebs from your wavy brown hair. You smile. You're happy to see that your teeth are looking particularly good. Of course, you deserve nice teeth, since unlike most people you know, you take care of them. Every morning you wipe your teeth with a cloth dipped in a cleaning concoction consisting of vinegar, salt, and a little sand, and a small measure of your own urine. Wow. This guy, yeah. You're about to pull yourself away from the mirror and put it in your backpack when you glimpse a translucent skull with thin, wispy hair just behind you in the reflection. You spin around and see not a skull, but a young girl floating a few feet in the air, her pale face fixed on you. Regional sees her too, as evidenced by him running down the stairway. How dare you touch what is mine? The ghostly girl shouts. You back up and reflectively put the mirror back on the table. You have heard tales of powerful ghosts that can suck the life right out of you and wonder if this girl is one of those. What do? Do you run for the stairs? Protection from evil spell mana? Or apologize? Well, I guess we are going to have to find out. Are we going to live or die? Are we going to be killed by this ghost of a girl, this demon-eyed girl? Or are we going to call upon the powers of our legs and run down the stairs? Are we going to conjure a spell, protection spell from evil? It doesn't say that she's evil. She's just saying, why the fuck you touching my shit? Or do we apologize? It doesn't say she's evil. She just asks her, why are we touching her stuff? But we will decide in the next coming up adventure. In the next episode, we will decide. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Please leave a like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. I would really appreciate it. And let me know if you guys want to hear more and what books you would like to hear more of.